Hello YouTube, my name is rhianaB. I know this video is very late. I'm very tired, I currently have a headache, life has been utterly stressful, but I am determined to get through Survivor 41. So we're here to discuss episode 9 of Survivor season 41. So again, please bear with me, I'm tired, I don't know how long this video is going to be. And knowing that this video is delayed, I don't want to delve into too many nitpicky details. So without further ado, let's go ahead and delve right into it. Again, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can also check out my future Survivor videos plus other videos that I do on this channel. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so obviously from the aftermath of the last tribal council, Shan not so happy with how the whole situation ended up happening. It's again the dynamic between Shan and Shan about both of them wanting similar things, but they can't work together to make those things happen. So again, we have a conflict with the two of them. And again, it seems like they try to work together and sometimes they're fine, but then other times they're not. So their relationship is very, very strange. But now, because of the whole dispute between the two of them, Shan is now more open to working with other people, and that includes Evie, which is so interesting because now he is willing to work with someone that he's known for just as long as he's known the people on his own tribe because of their meet on the summit. And now that opens a whole new door open for Evie, who is now kind of in the bottom. Really, Xander is her only ally at this point, but even from last episode, you know, the whole Yasa tribe had now kind of been disbanded. So really, I think Evie is looking for anything to get her further into the game. There is also this really weird but funny communication between Naseer and Heather about Heather targeting Naseer at the last tribal. Obviously, Naseer is not happy about this. He confronts her. She tries to kind of, you know, play it off as it not being a huge deal, but the best part is when Evie is nearby in the camp and Heather goes to her and Heather's like, "Evie, did I tell you to vote out Naseer last night?" And Evie basically said, "Yeah, you did." And like, obviously that just blows up in Heather's face. I don't know. I feel like Heather's just way too honest. And granted, we haven't seen a lot of her gameplay to really see if she's good at lying or manipulation. I have heard but not seen the actual clip of her feigning a nightmare or something like that, or a dream to get Sydney out. This was a secret scene. Again, have not seen it. But I don't know. I feel like Heather is just kind of all over the place. I don't understand her game. And if she's going to be more important in the future of the season, I kind of want to know if what this is actually important. And right now, it doesn't really seem like it is. The other thing as well is that Naseer gets a lot of talks about him and his idol and that he is safe no matter what. Automatically, my first thought is either he's playing the idol tonight or he's going home tonight. That is just foreshadowing, like lit up in bright shining lights. But now let's talk about some other competitors in the game. We have rhianaB, who gets a really nice glow up section in this episode, talking about his hearing loss, but the way he uses that disability to his advantage. And that is something that's really, I think, important in rhianaB's overall story. I don't think the producers would put that into the episode if that was insignificant, or if rhianaB didn't have further development further down for the rest of the season. This tells me that rhianaB, I kind of see this as being a part of a winner's edit, and rhianaB, as of right now, is in a really good position. So could this be a chance for the producers to be like, hey, this is a time to show our winner who has a disability and has come from very hard odds, being that he was on a tribe of 2 going into this, but this is him getting through it. I say yes, but again, I've been proven wrong with past seasons about the winner edit, so yet to be seen. But it's very interesting nonetheless. We also have a new possible duo with Xander and Erica? which kind of seems to come out of nowhere, but honestly, it does make sense. Both of them are trying to target the core four of Shan, Deshawn, Danny, and Liana. So for them to kind of be these bottom players, and I don't mean that in a bad sense, but they are kind of on the bottom at this point, or they're being very targeted. For them to work together, I say that's a good move. Get as many people on the bottom as you can to work together and target the core four. And being that we are now in the final 9, if I'm correct, I honestly can't even count anymore, but we're in the final stretch here. If you can dismantle a 4-person alliance, that opens up a whole lot more options and doors for you going further into the season. And I think that's the best gameplay here. And I like how both of them are extremely open to working with other people, to kind of just play it by ear and kind of just going with the flow. I feel like that's what a lot of the big players this season are doing. I feel like that's what Shan was doing in the beginning, but now that she's attached herself to this core 4, that's kind of, in my opinion, hindered her chances just a little bit here. And speaking of Shan, we do need to discuss how, God forbid, Shan, she's all over the place. Again, this goes back to, I feel like she has so many things she wants to get done, and she flip-flops on her pecking order so much. Last episode, she wanted to target the Yasa, to target Xander in particular. Now she wants to target after Erica. And I'm like, I understand that you think both of these players are big threats, and honestly they are, but why all of a sudden have you flipped back and forth? If there was something we didn't see, I kind of wish we knew what it was, because I don't understand how she is going so back and forth. She's being very kind of, I guess for lack of a better word, wishy-washy when it comes to her choices in her pecking order. And I don't think that's sitting well with her alliance, in particular with Deshawn. And now we're getting into the big surprise of this episode. We are having not only one immunity challenge winner, we're having 2, because we're being separated into 2 different teams, and both teams are going to their own tribal councils. We have seen this multiple times in Modern Survivor. The one I always reference usually is the one on Ghost Island, where there were a lot of big twists and turns and advantages being played. And I know this has happened in later seasons. I want to say, I'm sorry, I have not finished David vs. Goliath, and I haven't watched Edge of Extinction. I know. I was very bad at getting caught up on those seasons. Someday I will, but right now I'm too busy with this. But this has happened in the past and has led to some very interesting outcomes. So, on our teams, we have Erica, Heather, Nasir, Shan, and Ricard. Team 2, Deshawn, Danny, Evie, Xander, Liana. And now I recall, now we have 10 people. God, I can't count today. But anyway, the winners of immunity were Erica and Xander. Obviously, these were both very big targets going into these tribals. Obviously, now they're off the table. So now anybody is open to be going home tonight. And the discussions, wow, were they interesting. So with Team 2, while they are gorging on chicken and beef stew that they won from the challenge because Xander was the last person to win, they were eating, and good God, Liana, she is just very vindictive towards Xander. I don't particularly know why. I don't know, is it because of the fact that he's had a lot of power throughout most of the game? Does she see him as his biggest competition? I don't know, but there are just times where she just is so, like, at him, and I don't understand. Obviously, I'm on the outside looking in, but I just don't understand, like, all the hatred that goes toward his way from her. So obviously, I think she still is wanting to kind of target him, but the main focus of this tribal is, can Evie get Deshawn and Xander to keep her in the game? Obviously, with a 5-person tribal, it doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room. She's got to play every option she can. And right now, her best option is to go for Deshawn, who has had some sort of a connection with her. So that's the best play here. And the other thing about Liana too is she decides to talk to Xander and she asks him for his idol. In what world do you think that he is gonna give you his idol? Like, no way is that ever going to happen. And I don't even understand why she even comprehended that. I don't know if this is because she's so young or if she's just wanting to, again, be big move itis. I don't know. But there's just been some things that she has done that I'm just like, where is this all coming from? So again, now we're basically at the point where Shan is the deciding factor. He is the split vote tonight. Is he going to go with Liana and Danny, two people that are in his main core 4 alliance, or does he betray them and go with a new group with Xander and Evie? And because of this kind of back and forth between Shan, Danny gets the sense that there is more going on with Shan and the whole outcome tonight. So he makes a final push to Xander in particular to say, we need to get out Evie. She's the bigger threat. We need to get her out. And maybe this actually led to something. We'll get to that. Now let's go over to the other team. This one, again, very interesting about Nasir being very open and honest because he thinks he is safe because of his idol. I don't know if Nasir realizes that it's a two-way streak. You are only safe at Tribal if you play the idol or if you have the immunity necklace around your neck. I don't know if he got that because he was just acting so like boisterous and I don't know. He just was being very, very confident. And when you're acting super confident, that tells a lot of people, hey, we can get them out because they'll never see it coming. And that is what Erica really picks up on. And in an attempt to save Heather, she goes to try to make something happen here. And where those options come is from Ricard. Again, a big shining moment for Ricard in this episode is Ricard now wanting to go after Nasir. He doesn't really understand why everyone is targeting Heather because she isn't a threat. In my opinion, I guess he wants to kind of tag Heather and maybe even Erica along because he sees them as being goats. With Heather, 100% I can agree with that. With Erica, not entirely sure. But obviously he brings up the plan to the girls and they say, of course, we'll do this. It keeps us safe. And also, Ricard goes to Shan about this. He didn't need to, but I think what he was trying to do was trying to like cushion the blow of a possible betrayal, and that he wanted Shan to know that this was an option and that he wanted her to play the extra vote. Again, in my opinion, his thought process is we can use this to get out Nasir and negate his idol, but in the back of his mind, I bet he's also thinking, this way I can also take out one of your advantages, girl. And again, there was a dispute over, will Shan use the extra vote? Will she not? Will she go along with the plan? Shan is so dead set on getting Erica out or getting rid of one of the girls that she's just so like going back and forth. But she's also loyal to Ricard. And that plays a big part in this as well. Again, now Shan, what is she going to do? So now we get to Tribal. The first group up is Team 1. And good God, the moment with Heather, she was like, cue an idol, please, looking up at the sky. And the perfect cut to Tiffany, who's on the jury, gets this huge-ass bug. It's like probably like this big, lands right on her, and it's the most perfect timing ever. It was so perfect, and it was so funny. But obviously, this is a point where Heather is now getting also emotional because she really feels like she's going home tonight. And even though Ricard has given her and Erica a way out, I think Heather is also thinking anything can happen. We've seen a lot of things happen. I could go home tonight even though I was told another plan is going to happen. This also, I guess, has something to do a little bit with her edit. Does this play a part possibly in her future tribals or her future performances throughout the game? I don't know. But the main focus is we get to the actual vote. It's a tie, which meant that Shan did use her extra vote, and it's obvious that she played one vote on Nasir and one vote on Heather, so it is a deadlock even. Nasir did not play his idol, so we can't play it on the revote. And on the revote with Ricard, with Shan, with Erica voting, it's a done deal that Nasir was the one to go. So Nasir becomes the next person to be voted out of Tribal Council, becoming the second member of the jury. He quickly joins over to the jury, and now we move on to the second half. Now, this tribal to me wasn't nearly as interesting, for one reason being that everyone was being very, very guarded. They were not spilling any type of tea. They were really trying to not give the other side a one step up, which makes perfect sense in the game, but honestly, watching it as a tribal, it's very boring. But honestly, I kind of hoped that it would be Liana, since that was the other target on this group, but it wasn't meant to be. Evie gets majority of the votes, becomes the third member of the jury. I was so disappointed about Evie going home because I really like Evie. I think she's a really great overall character. She really brought a lot to the show, especially as someone who myself identifies in the LGBTQ+ community. Having not just Evie, obviously Ricard and Jeannie were also in the season, but to have in particular a person like Evie to be on the show to represent the queer community, it's absolutely incredible. Nasir, he was a great character. I didn't see him winning, so that's why I wasn't entirely shocked to see him go, but he definitely went out in a bang at a one of the best uses of the extra vote that we have seen yet in the show. So good play on Shan, although technically that was more Ricard's move to make her make the move. But either way, I'm very sad to see both of them go because they were such great characters on the show. But now we're left up with a lot of questions. We still have Xander, still has both of his advantages, which is absolutely insane. And now Shan is down an advantage. All she has now is her idol. And we still don't know if there are going to be any more advantages in the game. Personally, I say no because of the fact that we're getting down to, like right now, we're in the final 8. Next week, it's going to be the final 7. We can't do that many more advantages without it really cluttering the end game. And I really don't want us to have another advantage getting on our hands. Although, at this point, it would only be Shan and Xander who would have anything to play. So, that's interesting. But, again, will Xander, will Erica, will Heather, will they bounce back up now that they're on the bottom? I highly doubt about the core 4. I don't think they're going to stay together much longer. So there's a lot of questions in the air, a lot of stuff to go through. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So really quickly, the game within a game was final, which did take me a second, but eventually we got there. And as far as the confessional counts, we had Xander with 8 confessionals, making him the highest number this week. And then there was Deshawn, and then a tie between Shan and Ricard. And obviously on the bottom, oddly enough, Nasir only had 1 or 2 confessionals this episode, which is weird on his boot episode. Then Danny also only had 1 or 2 confessionals. But anyway, that is it for this episode of Survivor 41. I'm really hoping to get episode 10 and 11 out soon. I might do another double episode review. We'll see about that. I'm going to try my best to get caught up. A lot of things are happening in my life. But again, I'm dedicated to getting this series done. So, that being said, I'll end this video here. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below. What did you think of episode 9 of Survivor season 41? I would love to hear your comments on the double tribals. Are you sad to see Nasir and Evie go? Anything at all, I would love to read your comments. And also, if you want to see future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you all today, and until the next video, bye! Mwah!